Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day today. I have a special guest here with me, and is Mr. Newton. Mr. Newton, I know you're not aware of this, but whenever I have a guest here on my channel, I ask them to do a little shimmy, to begin the interview. Yeah, however you want to do it, you could put your own little flavor to it with this little shoulder roll.
So we just move around and just get all into it,
Yes.
right? All right. Well, that's
Yes.
good.
Exactly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to thank you for accepting to do this interview with me. And before we begin, I'll start with an icebreaker, and then you can introduce the audience to you. So the icebreaker is you have two options: gratitude of attitude. What is something that happened throughout the week that you're grateful for? That's one. You can do that. And a scripture that keeps you motivated, keeps you going, something that you always go back to that keeps you pushing. Yes.
Okay. I forgot the scripture first. I don't want to say the scripture and then it's the wrong one because my wife is going to kill me for that. But it comes from the book of James. Be slow to speak, slow to wrath, and slow to anger.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scriptures.
That's a beautiful scripture.
Yes.
Especially in the field that you're working in too. I think it's very important. And being that you're married as well. Yes, it's very important.
Actually, very, very important.
Okay, so I already mentioned that in the field that you're in and that you're married. Now can you please introduce yourself to the YouTube audience?
Okay, my name is Jamal Newton. I was born on this lovely island of St. Martin. I grew up on the French side, went to school on the Dutch side.
Okay.
I am married to a lovely wife, Rita Newton. I have 4 kids, ages 25, 11, 7, and my beautiful 2-year-old. I work at the Methodist Pedagogic Center, the MAC school. I'm the afternoon school coordinator, where we have a program that accommodates children of various backgrounds.
Okay.
It's a fun job. You have to love working with kids to do it. It gives you a chance to interact with children on different levels, from behavioral issues, low income housing, so stuff that affect children, and wherever you can put yourself in and help is always a great feeling. So I love what I do. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Usually persons that I have on here are persons that I've met before. So this is my first actual encounter with Mr. Newton. So you guys will get to know him together with me. So before we begin, what I'll do is I have it split out into separate segments. We're going to speak about family, and then we'll go into your occupation. And so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Okay. You already mentioned how many children that you have. So you said you have 4. And let's say hello to your wife, who will be watching. I know she will be watching the video. So hello, Mrs. Newton. Thank you. Okay. The purpose of this segment is to highlight men within our community. I didn't mention that before. So this is the reason why you are also on my platform today. And so you mentioned you have 4 children. Do you believe that you were ready for fatherhood?
No. My first, like as I mentioned, my first child is 25 years old. So I actually had her when I was very young. I was not ready. I did not know what it was, what to expect. I just know that, there was a little funny story too, just prior to when I found out that my girlfriend at the time, was pregnant.
Okay.
I wasn't on the right track, and I had some friends that wasn't on the right track, and I remember it clearly. One of them came by me and they said, "Hey, let's go for a drive." And I was like, "Drive? I don't even have a license." They actually stole a car. And the funny thing was, my mom will kill me if I say this, but my mom is very important in my life.
Okay.
And at that time, I had to do dishes or something. She told me, "Don't leave the house unless you do my dishes and clean up the floor." Funny thing is, I did that, and then I went back inside. My girlfriend called me. She said, hey, I think I'm pregnant. So I was like, wow. And then the next morning, the same friends that came to visit me, they actually robbed a Chinese store. Yeah. And they shot the Chinese person, the worker inside. So they ended up going to jail. So it was kind of funny for me. And I was like, wow, I want to become a father. So I have to embrace this, There were areas where I felt my dad could have made a more impact in my life. So I decided that I didn't want any of my children to experience that. So from then I started on the path of trying whatever is needed and being in my children's life for everything.
How old were you with your firstborn?
19.
19? Okay. Still young, but a little more like mature in a sense.
No, I wasn't. I was lost.
No?
No.
No. So that circumstance made you grow up even quicker, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And in what way did you see yourself change, and what way that you needed to change from being immature to just stepping up and being a father to your daughter?
Good question. One, I'm a late bloomer. In everything I do, I'm a late bloomer. I get everything at the end, And at 19, I didn't know exactly what direction I wanted to go in my life. I played sports, but I actually wanted to drop out of school at the time. I mean, it helped me become focused. Extremely focused. I wanted to do it the right way. And I must say my family is a great support. I have cousins and aunts and my mom. They were great support for me, that they encouraged me to go back to school and they would help. So while I was away at school, I would go to school, but I was also working just to make sure that I'm taking care of my responsibilities. As I grow older and being a parent, I realized that the more time you spend, not money, the more time you spend is always it's very important, So I always tell my first daughter, use a rabbit. You was a test rabbit for daddy, and now I'm completely different now with the last three.
Okay. So what is something that you saw growing up that you said, and I'm speaking from a father's perspective, because I believe fathers play an important role in both parents, but fathers really play an important role in the children's life. And the reason that I'm highlighting fathers is because oftentimes mothers, as it should be, are usually highlighted. So what is it in your upbringing that you saw your father do, or even men do, that you said you made a conscious decision, I'm not going to do this when I'm raising my children?
Like I said, I'm a late bloomer. So my relationship with my dad became much better as I got older. We speak almost every other day now. And one thing that I said that I didn't want to do, that I noticed was like our Caribbean thing, is have a lot of children all over the place. Because the one child that you're spending time with, that other child is not getting that time. So that was one of the things that I wanted to not do. And also my grandfather always instilled in me that always take care of your family. Always, no matter what the situation is, no matter where you are, you need to step up. It's not the child's fault that they're here. You brought them into the world. It's your responsibility to take care of them. And so he always stressed on education also, So that was that being present. That's one of the main things I always wanted to not do.
Okay. What would you say is the most fulfilling thing about fatherhood?
Your experiences with it. My first daughter taught me to love your family. My second daughter taught me to be more emotional, because she's very emotional. So you need to always sit with her and talk and spend time a lot with her. My son taught me patience.
And how old is he?
7. Patience. And my last daughter taught me, is teaching me right now that she gets away with it all. That's the little, she has me. She got me.
Okay, she have you wrapped around your finger. Wow. And she knows that, I'm sure.
At times she does, but then there are times when I just have to bring her back down, and because I'm a lot more understanding to her development stages also, So it takes me, I talk a lot more with her than I did.
I like how you mentioned your your children and how they are different in how they influence you, and you as a dad, the parent, and your wife as well. I know there are certain things that you would want to see your kids do. What is something that you're looking at? Okay, this is what I want for my children, because every parent, I believe, wants something good for their kids. What is it that you look at that you're looking at? Okay, this I did a good job with them.
Education, of course, because I told them after a certain age, I'm not taking care of them. They need to be on their own. Because I need to enjoy my wife and enjoy my life.
Okay.
But one of the things that we work on is I teach them to always be humble. Always be humble. We do some projects from time to time, if it's Christmas or if it's for one of their birthdays, where we haven't done it for the birthday. We did it for Christmas before, where give them money, they buy some stuff in a shop, and they choose a random person on the road and bless that person in forms of giving back and helping. Never look down on people, always help, because you never know when you will be blessed also, you know. So as they grow up, I try to mold that in front of them so that they can understand that, hey, it's important to give back and always be kind, be humble.
Yes, yes.
Very humble.
I like that you mentioned that, because my following question it still kind of is, how do you, because you are a Christian man,
Yes.
a man of God, and how do you instill those principles in your children, especially in the day that we're growing, that we're in right now? How do you make that conscious decision to, I'm going to butcher the scripture as well, train your children as they should be, so that they don't depart from the word. And I didn't say it correctly, but you know which one I'm referring to, right? Yes. So how do you do that? How do you make the conscious decision to do that with your kids, you and your wife?
It's a me and my wife thing. Because there is when I don't have time to probably sit down and read a Bible or do a plan Bible study plan. I'm not always that consistent now. I always told my wife I need to always make sure every day I do it. You know, sometimes I might do it in the morning or do it in the evening or during work, but I want a specific time where I'm just me spending time with God, you know. But my wife is great with me with that, you know. There are times when I'm very tired and I might wake up and she's there with the kids and they're all doing their studies. They're all going through their Bibles and stuff. So that support that she gives is very, 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 very good, because we work good together with that. And she sits with them. She does a lot with them. I'm more of a hands-on, you know. I would take an opportunity to say, hey, you know, look at that. Remember we read about this in the Bible, you know. We would talk more like that. But it's a combination of both me and her helping them, because as you said, it's very tough right now in these times, you know. We always still have to remain grounded, remain humble. You know what you are expecting, and despite the distractions, you just got to remain grounded.
Yeah. And that is important, because it's one thing to teach them about the word, you know, to sit down, and it's important for you to sit down and for you to study the word with them, but also for you to embody that, because there are persons that growing up, they grow up in the church, but when they reach home, their family or their parents do not show that. And that is one of the reasons why when they grew up in the church, they don't remain, like they don't stay. Have your kids ever asked you any questions, difficult questions, when it comes to spirituality? How do you go about that?
The 11-year-old now is coming more and more into asking questions.
That's the girl?
Yes, that's the girl.
Oh, so you have 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yes, 3 girls, and she's asking more questions. My son, he asks my wife a lot more, but she asked me. And one question she did ask in the past was Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
And we sat down, and I don't want to sugarcoat. You know, we need to teach them the truth.
True.
And I was like, hey, mommy and daddy, we give you stuff. We'll bless you with some gifts, some stuff, right? There's no body coming. We don't have a chimney. We don't have anything like that. It's not in the Bible. So we stick to the principles, you know. Of course you get that. I've got a lot of backlash from some friends, like, oh, you're taking away their childhood. But I was like, no, I'm big on history also, and reading history. And whatever I've learned, I teach them, so that it's not a surprise to them when somebody speaks to them about it. It's something, a discussion that they can have, you know. So that's one of those things that we've discussed about. And also how to remain calm when you're very frustrated. And then I think that's where I use the same scripture to her. I think it's James 1:19. But yeah, I use that same scripture to her because now she's getting into expressing herself, and we're teaching her how to you can have an opinion, but you should be respectful with it and represent yourself in the right manner, you know, that is pleasing to your parents and God. You know, so those are the things now that she's starting to ask, and you know, we're trying to guide her as much as possible biblically.
Does being a man of God help you in this journey of fatherhood? If so, how?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. When I was in Holland, I was looking for a church.
Okay.
And I couldn't find good church. And then I moved back home, and I was like, you know, I need to go someplace where I feel comfortable, you know. So I was quite shy in the beginning, you know, they're singing too loud and now they sing for me. So I started to read the Bible more and more and more. And what I've learned is a lot of the issues that I had questions about, I could always find the answers in the Bible. I could always find the answers in the Bible. And if you're looking for information, if you do research, it always backtrack to the Bible. So a lot of my answers in helping me to be patient, be understanding, not to be scared or stuff like that. All those answers I found while reading the Bible.
True. A lot of these motivational videos that the famous motivational speakers use, a lot of them stem from the Bible. If you really read the Bible for yourself and try to understand it, a lot of it stems from the word. Now, transitioning into teaching, you said you are a teacher at Mac School.
Correct.
Yes, because that was a mouthful for me to say right now. So at Mac School, how long have you been teaching there?
Well, I'm actually the coordinator of the after school program.
Okay.
Maybe 14 years or 13 years.
Oh, wow.
I don't keep track of it.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
What led you to teaching?
I just love working with the small kids. It's just, you make that impact with them from a young age. And you know what? It's really rewarding to see them come back after and they don't pass you on the road. I actually went to KFC last week, and one of my old students that was there was like, hey, Mr. Jamal, wow, hey, let me buy this for you, you know? And then we stood and we talked, and he just finished, I think it's his bachelor's degree. He's going for his master's degree. So it's really rewarding to see that, you know, you help in the beginning of their life for them to understand, you know. And I love working with the difficult boys, those who are aggressive and stuff. So once you make that breakthrough to them, smooth sailing, you know.
Okay. So what is the age group
that we work with? 4 to 12.
Oh, so the for the school,
elementary
okay.
School,
I thought you had a specific group that you work with.
We have seven classes in the program. So
okay.
From A1 to grade 5.
Okay. Okay, so you are a male teacher not a teacher, but in the education systems that is predominantly made usually with women. So with you being a male instructor in your field, what importance have you seen? How important have you seen, I'm trying to form the word, of you being a male in that industry, in that section? You understand the question, because it was kind of butchered.
I got you. What I've noticed is, along with some of my other male colleagues, when we speak, children tend to respond quicker. You know,
authority.
We have some fantastic women here working at our school. But then there are certain times when, you know, when you just see, hey, let me just jump into this situation here, diffuse it, and address the child about it. And so being a male helps a lot, you know. Of course, being a respectful male, because you need to show them respect. True. If you want to get that respect back, show them respect. When you speak to them, you speak to them with respect. You know, if you're explaining them, hey, listen, you could take a better approach to this situation, do it with respect. As you go along and they reach the older grades, you just have to speak to them once, you know, and then they would be, okay, all right, let me address this differently, you know. So being a male helps a lot. It helps a lot. More male teachers, a lot more male teachers.
And as you mentioned, you have to build that trust with them so that they are able to hear you out. You can't just speak to them any kind of way, especially, you know, every kid is different. You can't approach each and every one of them the same way. What would you like to see your students accomplish?
In the long run, respect. You know, those who take pride in whatever they do, they put everything, they're all in. Like you said, not all students are the same. Most students come from different backgrounds, face different challenges. So you want to see them overcome those challenges and become a good citizen, you know, working hard, understanding the importance of education, that it gives them a better chance in life, you know. So those are some of the things I really, really push in seeing with them. One of them told me to a lot this week, yeah, you give tough love. And it is tough love, but in the end, they know that I love them. So we have a joke sometimes. We just say, hey, I don't like you, you know, I love you, you know. So it's that what you expect, that at the end of the day, despite the challenges that they're facing, they can become successful in life. That's the main important.
Okay. The better way I could have worded that is, how would you like to impact your students? Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Just what I said.
Yes, exactly.
Back in their life.
So being in that field, what have you noticed that students struggle with? Maybe it's resources, family. What is something that you see is like a common trend?
It's a lot. So they deal with a lot. If parents are going through something, the child will go through it also. You know, from single parent homes, parents are not working, poverty, no food, anger issues, domestic issues, violence. There's so much that I can't just tell you this is one thing, you know. It's important though that when you, like I said, you treat a child with respect and understanding, that child trusts you and can come to you and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Oh, how can you, what should I do? You know, and if you have a good relationship with the parents also, you know, some people are very private, but if they're comfortable with talking to you and you can, hey, let me guide you in a direction where you can get help, then you help the parent and you also help the child.
Correct.
You know, so yeah, children feed off of what's going on at home. It's not only the child you have to assist, you also have to assist the parents.
So when you encounter things like that, how do you cope with it as the teacher? Because I don't think it's easy on you either, seeing a kid go through certain things.
Here at the school, we have a great support team.
Okay.
Very, very good support team. They're good at helping out. You know, everything remains confidential. We try to get help for whatever, based on whatever the situation is. Like I say, I have a good relationship with most of the parents. If it's just a simple phone call I can make that can help job, whatever, or an interview or whatever, I just jump into action and get it done. You know, it's not something to walk around and be boasting about. It's just you help out. You're placed in this position to help, you help.
Okay. So you've been in this field for 14 years. You don't count, but what keeps you going?
Children. Yeah, the children. Not only my kids, and honestly, I said I got 4 kids, and I probably got maybe like 400. You know, I will treat them the way I expect to treat my children. Goals I set with my children, I try to set it with those other kids. Because not most of them come from single parent homes, you know. And if you can be that male figure that they can turn to or listen to, you know, you try it and do that. You know, there are times when it's a very tiring job. You know, it can be very stressful at times. But over that period of time, I've learned how to deal with a lot of those stresses. And because you can't be stressing if somebody's coming to you for assistance and they see you stressing, you need to remain calm and provide that sort of help for them.
Also, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're filled, that's when you're able to pour into your children. If not, as you said, they feed off of, you know, what parents are going through, but also when they come to you, they can also feel the energy between you and them as well. So you being in the best state, how do you self-care?
Go to the gym.
Okay.
I go to the gym very early.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Wow.
Gives me time to work out and process my thoughts. If I don't make it to the gym in the morning, I go for walks afterwards.
Okay.
So just to clear my mind, I just walk along, just some music, just to clear my mind. And then I go home and I spend time with my family.
Okay.
And then I spend time with my best friend. I have a flat screen TV. It's my best friend.
Oh.
I just watch TV and, you know, just spend some time for myself.
Okay. What additional things do you do? So you teach your family man, and that's both of them takes a lot of your time and energy, but I'm sure there's other stuff that you are also doing. Can you please elaborate on that?
Basketball coach.
Wow.
I do mentor. I do mentor some young men also.
Okay. Is it a mentoring program or?
No, it's just some former students.
Okay.
And I do that from time to time. I've cut back on a lot more other activities for the sake that I felt that it was taking me away from home.
Okay.
Spending time with my kids. So what we've decided is that I've designated a specific time frame every week that we spend together. Last night we sat down and we had pizza and we just talked about what the children are going through and what I'm expecting from them and if they see me act a certain way. So they had a chance to express what they want to see me work on more, but I want to see them work on also. So it's either that or we go riding bikes or we go to the beach, you know. So I've taken myself out a lot from a lot of other activities and organizations. And I spend more time at home now too.
Okay, beautiful. Based on you doing the mentorship, how important have you seen the impact on the men that you've been mentoring?
I have this specific young man that is always with me. They actually say that's my son. With him, I am learning it's important to spend time. Some kids, like I said, they act out differently. He has taught me that I have a lot of patience at times. He's went to every patient level in my head, but at times when you see the reward when you get him, he understands where you're coming from, and you see the reward when he is executing it, you know. So it's very rewarding. It takes time though, you know, it takes time. But my wife is very understanding about it. I've learned to say no a lot more now and not feel guilty about it, you know, because an old man told me, ain't everybody you could save, and maybe you was put here to start something and then somebody will come along and continue that for you. So don't feel guilty about it. And I was like, wow, you know, I never looked at it like that, you know. So yeah, it's just at times it's a lot, but you pray about it, say no at times and move on.
I think that's an important thing to say, be able to do. Being able to say no, because especially when you are a person that loves to serve, you want to see other persons become better, and saying no can feel like you're being selfish.
Correct.
You know, so knowing your heart and knowing the reason behind it, because when you give your yes to, let's say, mentoring someone and it's like you're not giving the attention to your family, you know, you are given somewhere is being filled and another place is being deprived, you know. And I love the fact that you and your wife took the chance to set time apart to speak to your children, to speak to spend that time to bond, because nowadays, as you are these days, most times it's being spent on social media. You're in a household, everyone is on their phone, and communication, that is not something that is being done anymore. It's like technology is what is teaching your kids. So you being a father, how important have you seen just you being there in the presence of your family and spending time with them, how important it is? What changes have you seen since doing so when you started saying no to things that were taking time away from your family? That was a long way to make it to that question.
I got you. One of the things I learned, right? I like structure, you know. I just like structure. I just feel if I commit myself to something and it's not structured and it's chaotic, it takes away from me. It's taken away from my energy. It's taken away from my time. You know, and I'm not productive.
Yeah.
And I'm coming back out of that environment feeling not satisfied that it's, you know, that I'm actually doing what I decided to join up for. So structure is very, very important. In my household, one of the, let me just go back to last night. I told my wife yesterday, I said, listen, we're going to have pizza night, but we're going to do it quick because I don't want to be, because I was very tired. We had some trainings throughout the week at the school. So I was kind of tired. So I said, babe, I don't want it to be too long. We're just going to give just, and it ended up still being long. But one thing my kids did last week when I was out is they actually were fighting at home. And I was like, fighting. Like, I was really the first time my wife told me, hey, they were at it with each other.
Wow.
So like, oh, no. So we're going to address that. So we sat down last night and I saw the fact that I took that time out to sit with them and hear both sides of the stories and explain to them what is expected. It's not fighting each other, you stand up for each other. You don't fight each other, you know? So they understood the seriousness of it from me at that time. And they were very, they paid attention, they listened, they apologized for it. And I explained to them there are certain things that I expect from you guys when I'm here, or if I'm on another island, wherever you go, that certain behavior you're supposed to continue. You know, and it just was like, whoa, they fought. And my wife dealt with it. First, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna deal with them. But then I said, no, let me just take this different approach. And we talked about it. And I saw that the fact that we sat down and we talked about it, it made a big difference. It made a very big difference.
Listening to you speak, I love the fact that how both you and your wife are very involved in the upbringing of your children. And because sometimes I gonna tell your father when he reach, or, you know, it's not always together. And it shows the importance of, you know, both parents are in the same mindset. They have the same goal. So I really love the fact that you pointed that out.
Yeah, you just said something that made me think. My wife is also a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Her approach is it has been mostly a humble, calm, open approach. I've learned more from that too.
Okay.
Where I adjust some of those ways of talking, but at the end of the day, I still remain firm. Not as firm as I was before, but I've learned that if I be more understanding and learning how they are at a young age, it helps me as I go along. Because my oldest daughter she's practically an adult, you know. But if there is something, she knows she calls me and we can hash it out. But even though she's an adult, if I speak to her, she comes back down, you know. She's upset about something. I'm like, hey, calm down. You can see she listens, you know, because again, it's from the beginning. Played a role from being there and teaching her from a young age, you know. So gifts are fine for kids. Gadgets are beautiful. Best thing you could give your child is time.
Yep. I think that's a beautiful thing to end it on. But I also wanted to ask you a question about basketball. You said that you also do trainings. Can you, if anyone are you taking anybody else in? If anyone would be interested in the program? I know you're saying no to not to get yourself involved in too many things, but in case anyone is interested, what does it entail, and is it a program that you have?
Well, it's actually, let me explain you why I'm saying
Okay.
The team that I coached was on a friend side.
Okay.
So that was very, again, like you see the fact that I finished work at 5. I had to run over there to 7 o'clock to train the kids. Okay. And then head back over in traffic. The next days I was very exhausted. Okay. So I did that for 2 years. And this year I did not I spoke to the president, and I was not fully committed as I
Okay.
normally was. I was looking for something more closer to home, which I've actually found. It's actually in French Quarter.
Okay.
But then also some other friends of mine are actually currently putting together a district basketball committee.
Beautiful.
Right, where we are gonna bring back life to basketball on the Dutch side for the younger kids. Because when you invest in sports, crime goes down. You know, so we're currently busy with that. That's more closer to home. So when I'm finishing work, I can just go drop in, see how it's running, and then we go back home. So on the front side, right now, I'm kind of pulling back because it's a lot of driving.
Okay.
And I'm more focusing now on the Dutch side to help my friends and get it together, and then we move from there. So there will be more information coming out pretty shortly to the public about ways and means that you can join several basketball teams.
Okay. Beautiful. That made me smile because looking in St. Martin, there's a lot of this is going to be my little rant, but there's a lot of complaints about having resources for children, and you know the answers, the questions, there's no answers for that plea. So it's beautiful that, you know, sometimes we wait for government to do certain things, but there are persons within the community that is actually doing the work. So I do want to commend you for what you and your team are doing and what you have been doing. And I love the fact that you said that the best thing that you can give your children is time. And that's all they need. All the gadgets and everything else, it's not that important if they don't have the time. You don't have the time to instill certain principles in them. So thank you again for this interview. Thank you for the gems. Thank you for just being of service to children and doing it wholeheartedly, genuinely. And thank you to your wonderful wife. She is definitely a blessing, and may God continue to use you in the mighty way that he's been doing. Thank you again. Is there anything that you would like to say before we close off?
Great platform.
Oh, thank you.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Just, you know, every now and then keep highlighting men, because our youths need to see that it's cool to do the right thing.
Yes.
No, I just feel sometimes men doesn't get that recognition.
Yeah.
So much about men not taking care of their kids, and I can just introduce you to thousands of men that are actually trying their best, but they don't get the recognition. So using your platform, it's a great idea. Great initiative. So thank you again for allowing me to be on your program. And yes, can't wait to look forward to seeing the interview.
Awesome. Thank you. This is all a learning experience for me. So thank you for your patience, because you know, I had a little, but we are here for the growth. Thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope that you are blessed by it. Have a blessed and a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.